Ruchira, it seems to me as I look not only at your whole life but the most recent past, when you have been literally on wanted posters in your own country of India, when you have been going back and forth in what is now kind of dangerous travel between our two distant countries. It's a miracle to me. You probably can't answer this, but I just don't know where your bravery comes from. How does it begin?
It's a bit like what you said, that courage comes by doing. So I was also brought up in a Gandhian household where I was taught to stick by the truth, come what may, and also think about what I could do for the other, the last, as a part of a lifestyle. It wasn't cut off like that. It wasn't in compartments that I would do this for myself and that for the other, but it was part of living and breathing, that we are interconnected and interdependent. And so I saw my parents as incredibly courageous people in little acts, not in flamboyant big acts. But my father, as a 15-year-old, would tell me stories about how he wanted so much to be part of Gandhi's movement, and India had just become independent, and he wanted to go to jail because Gandhi had asked all young people to go to jail, and he felt he would never get the chance. So he mobilized with other young people, and they went to a court and held the hand of a judge who was writing a judgment in English, saying India is now independent and you can't pass a judgment in English. And he was put into jail, and he said that being in jail transformed him because he learned to live with all kinds of prisoners in a big shed where they were overlooking the toilets, and it was unclean, it was dirty, there were lots of mosquitoes, bats hanging over them. But it also taught him that by doing, he found a courage inside himself which he did not know, that he could live through dirt, he could live through enclosure, isolation, beatings and all of that. So that was kind of inspiring to me. My own natural instinct has always been to jump into the fire. And I've always tried to stand up for what I believe in, because it was something I heard, maybe something I read. A lot of books inspired me, where people like Jane Austen or Louisa May Alcott, when they wrote about the courage that women found to write, and at times when women's names were not being published as writers, women were not getting publishers, etc. So I found that interesting because I like stories and I wanted to write too. I also saw around me very courageous people who actually, I was another man I knew who went to the Andaman's jail and was imprisoned for life for fighting for India's freedom. And then I met someone like you much later, and your courage was kind of a gentle courage. You would go into situations and try to resolve conflict for the greater good. And you would do it with people who might judge you, who might think that you were trying to play a savior, but you were not doing any of that. And I saw that because you did it so quietly. And I began to appreciate quiet courage and gentle courage very much, and that it brings about change. I saw also that it was practical because if you have the courage to do something, other people join you slowly, and it becomes enough of a mass that it brings about change.